what's up? It's Nick Gallo, Gallo the guy you know. I'm here with artist, poet, actor. Yeah, Omari Hardwick. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man.
How's it?
It's crazy that
Yeah,
you got the name
yeah.
of
Thank I appreciate it.
What?
Advertise, you know what I'm saying?
That's some
Yeah,
ghost
right.
shit.
But
Thank you, guys.
yeah, how has it been though? This I know it's like the first date of the real to real. Yeah, the real. The whole Gentleman Jack. How has it been so far?
So this is our second stop, and it's always been good. This is the second annual competition in terms of aiding young brown black filmmakers, aiding them in their dreams becoming actualized. Where it's not just a dream, but actually coming to fruition, or at least the beginnings of it coming to fruition. So it's always good. It's always an ongoing thing. So it's an interesting question for you to ask how it's been, because for me, it's almost like we could deflect the question back to the young filmmakers and go, how is it going? You know what I mean? Like, in terms of you creating what we've challenged you to create and being a part of this second annual competition. But it feels very, very good for me to be attached to something that they're able to benefit from. It's always been an honor to help young people. So this is a steroid level of me feeling good about helping them.
I know, the big dates coming up with July 1st, Power. How was this season different from filming previous seasons?
It's more emotionally difficult for me. I mean, it's, when you're starting off at the difficulty, when you're starting off at the barometer for difficulty being as high as it is for Ghost in terms of season one, obviously in terms of emotionally being difficult and physically being taxing, because I do so many of my own stunts, and most of us do, from Curtis to Joseph playing Tommy, who's from Chicago. We're physical guys, so and even some of the girls have definitely participated in their own stunts. So, but this season in particular is definitely the hardest, and it went up such a level in terms of the emotional responsibility that as an actor I had to put into the work that is called Ghost, or into the team of Power. It was a lot of taxing, exhausting, mentally, physically, and emotionally. It was a lot of work this season.
I was gonna say, because it's my favorite show. Yeah, I mean,
he's going through a lot. Ghost is a complicated guy already, but the storylines have increasingly become more complicated, obviously. So that's why I think, have been so received and so warmly received and appreciated by 9 million, living rooms, is because the show is so convoluted and complicated and different.
have you ever talked about doing like a movie sooner or later?
That's a cool question. There's been discussions about it. You want to see a movie? Y'all want to see a movie? Yeah, there's been discussions about it. I feel like Curtis, obviously being our exec producer, that being 50 Cent, and a castmate of mine, a teammate of ours. He's talked about it. I don't know what Courtney's feelings are. Courtney Kemp, the show's creator and showrunner, and I can't speak to what the network feels, but some of us as actors, definitely have heard the murmurs about potentially there being a movie when it's all said and done. I don't think a prequel. I think more so just the actual film. I actually think that it would be a great. My makeup artist has actually said this, and I agree with her, that it would be a really, really cool homage to the fans. In terms of the loyalty, that the fans have given us, and just the diehard commitment that for 176 countries full of fans, and 9 point something million viewers, consistently making it the number 2 show on paid cable. I would imagine that that's a pretty good gift of, like, here's an actual film, here's a movie on a big screen. You can go to the theater and watch it, but it's definitely connected to all of your favorite moments of Power, all your favorite characters and whatnot. So yeah, I've heard a little bit of here and there about it. We'll see. They just need to tell me where to be and when to be, and I'm all good.
And you dropped Bloodshed last year, what, January 27, 2017? Yeah. So how was that whole? Who was it? Josiah Bell. So yeah,
So it was cool. It was one of the it was a timing thing for me because music's coming out anyway eventually. So and you get a lot of people on social media that didn't know I did music, which is great. But equally, you get people going, "When's the album dropping?" So there's certain people that know about it, but that was more so a timing thing. I just felt like it was right to say, "Hey, wake up!" It's a lot of bloodshed, whether it's young teenagers, in Stoneman Douglas, or whether it's a kid in Texas the following 3 months. Illinois, I think, went through it without right. Illinois went through it, and that kind of went under the radar. Um, or whether it's just the fear that has certain factions of officials, that being police specifically, not necessarily knowing how to deal with certain groups of people, certain cultures of people, and deciding that they're better off this earth at 16 years old than being simply handcuffed and brought in for questioning. And just the civil crap that we have amongst ourselves as a people, and obviously outside of our country, there is so much freaking bloodshed. So I just felt like the timing of it needed to happen. So it felt good to be a part of the voice that is just saying, "Hey guys, we need to wake up a bit."
another thing.
Our part, and so that was at that moment. That was my part.
Yeah, I know. You said full album coming out of music. I know you already released, Return of the Poet, your poetry. So would you like to like intertwine them on an album, or would you put like two separate kind of albums?
No, we're doing. Yeah, it is an intertwining. I'm doing a one man show soon. That will almost explain a little bit more of that point that you're making, because the world knows me as an actor. So you kiss them on the cheek and honor them for embracing you in their home as an actor, slash poet slash activist, what have you, just as a personality of our generation. By keeping it close to the world that they know you as, which is that of an actor, but subtly reminding them I'm so many other things. So I think the marriage or the hybrid of two is what the plan always was. You know what I mean? I put out 50 plus O, which is the song with Curtis, um, which was cool, and it did a lot for me, I'm sure, because of his fan base. Um, I got very close to Trayvon Martin's family over the years, and so then I wanted to put out Feel Some Kind of Way, which I put out as well. And it was ironic because the story behind that is having recorded it the night of his birthday, but forgetting that it was his birthday. Just totally forgot. Just chose to record it. My engineer and producer, Vex Madison, he gave me the track, and I just went in on, and used Trayvon's name in it, Freddie Gray and Mike Brown, but happened to be recorded the night that it was Trayvon's birthday. So then I wanted that out. But those are just little things that I just want to kind of share with the world, not necessarily coming in with the moxie of being a musical artist. Ultimately, perhaps there'll be that attempt to be like, okay, guys, I'm really trying to be heard here musically. But those things were almost more so just an extension of who I brand myself to be as a citizen of the country who feels like the world, not just the country, but the world needs to be a better place.
One thing I want to talk about, your story, your, like growing up and really struggling at first, like really grinding and, keep going. What do you have to say to that? Because, like keeping a day job to pay the bills and doing all your passion arts. Yeah, like talk a little bit about that and how you really kept with it and kept going, because I know it's hard out here.
Yeah, definitely. It's always been a grind. Those hashtags are interesting to me. The what is it, hashtag grinding, or
Hustle, inspiration.
those things are they're funny to me because I was raised in a Jersey. I'm a lot older than the teenagers of the world, but I'm also older than my fan base, which typically ranges from 22 years old to 35. I'm substantially older than even that range of 22 to 35, and so I didn't never call something grinding. I didn't know what hashtags were. The hashtag was a pound sign, and so it was just working. You know what I mean? It was hustle. Obviously, I grew up with that word, and our grandparents used different words that we now are sort of coming back around, swaggered, right? That was a word that a lot of young cats don't even know. Grandfather said that, but those words do speak to the reality that some of us actually went through that which they're hashtagging in ways of thinking that they're going through those things. I don't know if everybody's gone through a lot of the same things that we who really grinded went through. So I was definitely all them damn hashtags, whatever you want to call it. I was every last one of them, living in whatever momentary destitution I had to or was forced, quote unquote, to live in. You know, I could have gotten a normal whatever, but I say quote unquote forced because if God really wanted me to do this, then he was like, hey, you got to go through these, you know, acting class can't teach some of this stuff. You can use that. So I definitely would say to any young person out there, the process is so important. Sounds hokey, and particularly for a generation that's not about the process. This generation is really about now. Yo, Mr. Omari, how can I get from this side of the street to over there like in like a nanosecond, but it's 5 trucks crossing the street? Tell me how to make it happen. And I'm often like, well, that's, you know, I don't know. You might have to literally go behind this building, walk all the way around. And, oh man, really? I got to. So God bless them. God bless them that they're navigating life, my kids included, at 5 and 3 years old, where they're doing this on an iPad, right? They're just the immediacy of what life is offering them makes me feel old as hell, man. You gotta process is everything. It's sweeter. The victory, the conclusion is sweeter. It's sweeter. If you're broke, you're broke. If you're rich in spirit, then you ain't really broke. You know.
I definitely agree with that. No, but I want to do something different. Just I know you've been asked the same questions, you know, all day. So just want to do like you know a little rapid fire. You know, cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Cook yourself or take out?
Wife cook.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
To denote that a woman should be in the kitchen cooking. It's just that her specifically, she cooking is a good thing. Yeah.
Rihanna or Beyonce?
B. B. Always B. Reed's dope, but always B.
Stay in or go out?
That depends. That depends on what's out there or what's in there. You know, that depends. I don't know.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Old school music or the new school music?
Old school, and the new school music that is really good tends to have old school elements to it. Can I answer it that way? Kendrick included. I hear Ro James is going to be in this exact venue tonight. Him included. Luke James included. You know, J. Cole included, right? Davies. Shout outs to my little brother in Davies. Like Rotimi. I keep telling him, don't do so much of the new music, Rotimi. Make sure that you always keep an element of the old music in there. So I would say old music, but the new artists who happen to be in touch with the old side enough. Yeah.
Tupac or Biggie?
Pac.
And last one, acting or poetry?
Poetry. It makes acting better. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. What's happening, folks? This is Omari Hardwick. I am from Decatur, where it's greater, specifically in general Atlanta, GA, but I'm in Chicago, home to Gallo, the guy you know. I'm holding his microphone. I'm gonna give it back to him before he jacks it from me. But I want to say peace to all of you and thank you for the constant support and love. I'm very humbled. Peace.